I, Dr. Tazeen, on behalf of India is Us, which is now ITU Social Foundation, extend a very warm good evening to all present here. We heartily welcome you all to our 6th Foundation Day celebration. I hope you enjoyed the brief video on ITU Social Foundation. Let's start the session with our very own national anthem. I request everyone to kindly stand up for our national anthem and, if possible, please adjust your camera accordingly. Thank you so much. Can we please have the national anthem now? Akshay, are you able to play the video? Yeah.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, everyone. You all can be seated now. Thank you so much. Just like you have your birthday, ITU Social Foundation also has its birthday on 15th August. Our founder established India is Us right on the Independence Day of our country, since it is such an auspicious day. We are celebrating it today for the convenience of everyone. For us, our Foundation Day is nothing less than a festival. It is the day a pledge was taken of firm affirmations to help NGOs, corporate CSRs, and volunteers to create a better society. Our aim is to contribute towards creating social equity. This is the day an idea was born to handhold all social service stakeholders and to move ahead together. Beginning with the festivities, please allow me to introduce you all to Mr. Pranav Menon. Mr. Pranav is the Advocacy Director for ITU Social Foundation. He has over 10 years of voluntary community service. His marketing background comes in play when building consensus with partners and volunteers. He is well known for his outstanding communication skills, be it while engaging with CEOs of organizations or leading his team. Our advocacy director leads from the front to ensure ITU contributes to its partner NGOs, donors, volunteers, policy influencers, and other stakeholders. I request Mr. Pranav to kindly brief us about the mission, vision, and goals of ITU Social Foundation.
Thank you, Dr. Tazeen. It was a pleasure to have introduced myself so well. First of all, thank you everyone, and good evening to each and every one of you who is present here. Everyone here plays an important role as a part of family of ITU Social Foundation. So we are not a company, we are not an organization. We believe ourselves to be a family. We believe we as a family, together with the NGOs who are our brothers or sisters, and our donors and volunteers, together can make a big joint family. That's what I believe in. Now, what is ITU all about? ITU Social Foundation is basically focusing on creating an ecosystem. What does an ecosystem do? Connecting each and every stakeholders, be it the NGOs, be it the corporate heads, be it the volunteers, be it the donors together, so that each one can help each other. Now, we have my team, we all have worked so hard to understand the pain points for NGOs, pain points for the donors, pain points for the corporate. So each one is trying to do everything in the same way, that each one has the same goal to help the society, to help a social cause. but they're all not interconnected or interlinked. That's where the main problem comes into our society, because we don't know what is the right cause, what is the right approach, who to go to, who to actually help out. So this is why we try to help NGOs to actually go and actually meet the right people, donors, volunteers, and even NGOs who can help each other. So that's our main aim, and that's our main vision. Now, one of the main important thing in our IT Social Foundation, what we believe in is we want to have 5 NGOs per cause per state. So we deal with 12 causes in total. So we need to at least have 60 NGOs together in one state, right? So now you can imagine how big our family will grow in just some time, in next a year or two. And this is just not for us. I mean, why we are doing this is just so that each and every NGOs, even NGOs who are doing working for the same cause, they can help each other out, giving their ideas, helping them go through their projects together, and create a complete ecosystem out of it. So, not taking too much of time of all of you, but it is really a pleasure to be sitting in front of you guys, helping you guys out, and learning from each one of you, because you guys have taught us a lot more than what we are trying to learn ourselves. I would like Alisha to take over and explain more and give you more in-depth knowledge about all of us together.
Okay, I was muted, sorry. Yeah, thank you, Pranav, for making our stakeholders understand the mission and vision of ITU. Now, let me take this opportunity to introduce you all to the lady behind the best services that India is Us has to offer. Alisha Vijay, who is heading India is Us. Her vast networks and license empower our partner organizations to grow further. She is known for fetching seamless solutions for the problem faced by NGOs. I would now like to request Alisha to brief you all about our relation with NGOs and the passion our team has to work on social cause.
Thank you, Dr. Tahzeen, for this wonderful introduction. And good afternoon, respected dignitaries, partner NGOs, and all our stakeholders. Today, on our 6th Foundation Day, it is my privilege to have you all here. The journey from India is Us to ITU Social Foundation and from 12 NGOs to 102 NGOs has been very exciting. During this period, we have explored, learned, and innovated many things which helped us in our journey to contribute to the change in the society. With the help of our communication team, corporate, and donors, we have been just trying to help our NGOs, and we're just trying to support them to communicate, grow, and have their own sustainable growth model. I'm sure there is a long way to go, but still we are learning a lot. And with a team of such an enthusiastic people, I'm sure that the trust of all our partner NGOs will definitely be on us. I am very much sure that we will set some benchmarks as the trustworthy partners. I will not take much time and would like to announce that we have received almost 70 registrations from the NGOs out of 102 for the award categories. And today I'm very eager to share the results with the winners. And I would like to congratulate each one of you in advance. May the best NGO wins. Thank you so much, Dr. Tahzeen, over to you.
Thank you so much, Alisha. Thank you so much. And we are really blessed to have you guiding us throughout. I mean, the way your team is working towards providing such innovative ideas to the NGOs, it's really appreciable. Thank you so much, Alisha.
Thank you so much.
I would just like to inform you all that unfortunately, our chief guest, Dr. Shrikant Panigrahi, sir, could not join us today due to some personal last-minute emergency that he had to attend to. We are really sorry for that. I'm sure, as Alisha just said, that you all must be eagerly waiting for the announcement of the awards. We have 6 categories of awards, which are the biggest helping hand award, which will be given to the NGO with stellar performance during COVID-19. Then we have the most eloquent NGO award, which will be given to the NGO with the best communication strategy. Then we have the Maverick NGO award, which will be given to the most innovative NGO. Then we have the tech savvy NGO award, which will be given to the NGO making the best use of technology. We then have the People's Choice NGO Award, which will be given to the NGO that has amassed maximum volunteers. Then last but not the least, we have the ITU Bestie Award, which will be given to the NGO in close coordination with ITU. We are very happy to share that we have Ms. Stuti Kakkar as our keynote speaker with us today. Ms. Stuti Kakkar was an IAS officer 1978 batch and retired as the chairperson of the National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights. Srimati Kakkar has worked extensively in the areas of social justice and empowerment, information and broadcasting, and industrial development, including several years in the MSME sector, both in the state and the central government. She is particularly well known for her contribution to the social sector, including the protection of child rights and empowerment of persons with disabilities. As Secretary to the Government of India, she established the Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India. Under her leadership, the department's innovative Niramaya scheme, that is the scheme for health insurance scheme for persons with autism, cerebral palsy, mental retardation, and multiple disabilities, was awarded the Times of India Social Impact Award in 2009. Drawing on her vast experience of the SME sector, she consistently strived for the economic empowerment of the vulnerable and marginalized section of the society. She firmly believes that it is the SME and the Khadi sectors which hold the key to elevation of poverty of the country. During her tenure as chairperson NCPCR, she therefore initiated a collaboration with KVIC to set up a looming and weaving center in Delhi's Children Home for Children in Conflict with Law for the economic as well as mental wellness. Srimati Kakkar served as Joint Secretary and then Additional Secretary to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, along with Director of the Indian Institute of Mass Communication. She was the key driver for the formulation and implementation of several policy measures to strengthen the print media industry and IIMC in particular. She was also Joint Secretary in the MSME Ministry and CVO for both the Department of SSI and KVIC. Srimati Kakkar has also worked extensively in Uttar Pradesh as Commissioner of Jhansi, Commissioner and Director of Industries, District Magistrate of Ghazipur. I now request Srimati Stuti Kakkar to kindly announce the winner of the Biggest Helping Hand Award. Ma'am, you are on mute mode. Can you just unmute yourself? Yeah.
Myself. Sorry.
Yes.
You know, when I was growing up, this technology was.
I can understand. Ma'am, can you just adjust your camera a bit? We are not able to see your beautiful face. We are able to see your beautiful eyes. Right.
I've put on weight, so my eyes are the ones that haven't put on weight. I really like, Alicia is such a pretty nice girl.
I know.
Lovely interacting with her. Okay, so the Biggest Helping Hand Award goes to Dipale. Dipale is a good NGO.
Wow, great.
Congratulations,
Dipale. Now, ma'am, I will kindly request you to kindly address the August gathering.
Actually, when I heard about this organization, I contacted them.
Okay.
I felt that this is the need of the hour. But unfortunately, I've not been able to play a more active role in this organization. They were kind enough to listen to me and invite me because of a lot of personal problems that we've been having. Almost every family has had COVID.
Ma'am, so sorry. Can you adjust the camera a bit? We are not able to see you properly yet.
My grandchild actually pulled it off.
You can put the. Are you from a mobile or from the laptop?
No, I'm from the desktop.
From the desktop. Okay. So what you can do is you can shift a bit towards the back, or you can.
I can.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Now it's better. It's perfect now. Yeah.
So I was so excited when I saw this calendar of Crystal Hues, and I felt that this is exactly what the NGO sector needs. But I wasn't able to involve myself very deeply because I think almost every household in India has had these COVID related problems. I had my own. Now, actually, about civil societies, I'm a very firm votary of civil society. I believe that without everybody pitching in for the development of the country, our country cannot develop. And it is the civil society who will fulfill this role, because in some sense civil societies in other sectors apart from disabilities, I would say, are now maturing, and they are now peopled by professionals who are so well qualified that, and it is amazing when you see youngsters who are so talented and who are devoting their lives for in sectors which were traditionally, I would say, manned by government servants. Because in 1980, when I was the chief development officer in Kanpur, there were not many people who were willing to go into all those areas. There were such backward areas. It was Uttar Pradesh was my cadre. In some of the blocks, there were, people were living in very bad conditions. The BDOs had no toilets. They had no boundary wall. A couple of them had dacoities, that Ghatampur area where Pullan Devi came from. So it was quite a challenge, this community development. But today I see youngsters with foreign degrees, very well qualified people getting their hands dirty in a way. They're getting into the field, they're working, and this and my experience of the disability sector, I would say, was amazing. I've never seen more dedicated people, and the disability sector sort of created itself, because government was not in the disability sector, and then the civil society got together. A lot of them were doyens, who are now doyens, were pioneers of that field. I can name some: Bala Saraswati ji for the hearing impaired in Chennai, Mary Barua for the autistic children, then Uma Tuli, who created these huge organizations and found their way, and they are now providing a helping hand and providing expertise to people who are similarly placed. And it's amazing what people have done on their own. I had a similar experience when I was in Jhansi, because Jhansi is so far from Lucknow that no aid reached there. So there also people put up these NGOs. They sort of took everything in hand and started doing work themselves. And so they created organizations of great value. Unlike, I would say, other places which were nearer to Lucknow, which were nearer to Delhi, where people were there for government largesse and grants. But so my experience with the NGO sector has been very good, and I firmly believe that India cannot go ahead unless we involve, government involves people, the energy of the people in its development process, because India is too large, it is too heterogeneous, there are too many places, people, it's as this, I have always said, held that diversity is not in the human structure and body, it is all in the mind. Even today, there are people who are arguing against vaccines, and there are a lot of people who think differently. So keeping them all on course is a big challenge. Now, I would just come. How much time, Alicia, do I have? Just 2-3 minutes, or is it a little more?
So, ma'am, Dr. Tazin, can you please help Stuti, ma'am? I think she is having 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay, but this was this COVID-19, pandemic, when they talk about the pandemic and what a problem we have, but think of the work that the civil society did with the migrants, and which for providing them food, for providing them with water, for providing them with transport. It was all the people who got together. It wasn't government. In fact, I feel that the government should have extended itself more in stemming the migrant palayan, as I would say, when they're fleeing to their homes, when they had no work, they had no food. So it was the civil society that came together. A lot of my friends also were pitching in. They were providing food and other things. Now, when I was, today we need to think about civil societies and what we all can do together. We need to federate. I've had experience of, say, the disability sector, the child sector, and the rural development sector. And what I find was the disabilities, as I said, was wonderful. I mean, it was the most joyous experience of my life. And I'm so happy that I got this opportunity. Child sector was a little sad because a lot of NGOs, and it's one of the older sectors, because remember, orphanages and all came in first. But unfortunately, I mean, it's not, it doesn't have the same kind of quality which the disability sector said. And there were just too many complaints of child abuse and trafficking of children from orphanages and all that. And the NGO sector really needs to look at itself. Then in rural development, my experience was limited to my state. And there I would say in UP, we don't have many NGOs. And there were not many. My experience was limited to Jhansi, where there were good NGOs. But again, I experienced a north-south divide. In North India, there are fewer NGOs. In South India, there are many more NGOs, and they are very professional, I would say. So this is one place where civil society, where NGOs need to look to themselves. Then we need, and I would request this organization to capacity enhance NGOs, especially in Northern India. South India is far ahead. And even in disabilities and other sectors, we need to, now train NGOs to think about the changing environment. I'm on independent director on a couple of companies, and they are also having problems with the frequently changing, I would say, the economic environment, the financial rules and all. But there they have this luxury of hiring talent from outside. Here we need to upgrade our skills, because a lot of NGOs are very small NGOs in isolated places, and they are so busy providing services that they don't have the time to pick up these skills. But we need to, all of us need to know this. I had an experience of NGOs who took grant from government, and yet by not knowing the rules, they got into a horrible lot of problems. And, donor agencies, whether it is government or whether it's a private donor agency, expects accounts. So we have to pick up these skills. We have to learn about it. I know it's terrible. I hate accounts and I hate figures, but even then it is a skill. It's a survival skill, I would say. And we need to pick up these skills. And we need to learn about all this, because if FCRA there are certain requirements, we have to comply with them. There is no way out. I mean, we have to live in the country. We have to abide by the laws of the country. If you want to run an orphanage, you have to get yourself registered under the JJ Act. If you want to adopt a child, you have to go through Kara. There's so many have tos, but kya kare? It is there. And it is something that us need. And last of all, I won't take much time of yours. There is one thing which I would like to remind all of you is when NGOs are talking, please talk in one voice. See, in the RPWD bill, when I was their secretary, Rights for Persons with Disability bill, we almost got it through in 2014. But and what had passed, accepting that every NGO of different disability was talking in a different voice. So I kept telling them, please come together, let us get our bill through, you can have your amendments later on. But if you talk in 10 different voices with 10 different demands, then the problem is you will delay the process. And that is exactly what happened. And ultimately the bill came out much, much, much later. And we lost so much of time. And when there are differences amongst us, then jisko kehte hain na, the cat gets away with the cream. That people play these differences out, and government and I would say bureaucrats are very clever at that. But so it is. I'm just happy to be here, to be back amongst all of you, and I can see a few faces which I have seen earlier and organizations that I'm familiar with. So I'll stop here now. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much. It was absolutely pleasure listening to you. I fully agree. India being such a vast country without community services, I mean, working towards the upliftment of the underprivileged is really tough. So correctly said, ma'am. And really, I think NGOs really got to know how they need to work on. Really, they all need to have one single voice, so that it's easier for the government to hear them, and solutions, they get the solutions to their problem. Thank you so much. It was really an absolute pleasure listening to you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
It is our honor to have Ms. Rashi Jain with us today as our special guest. Ms. Rashi Jain is an enterprising leader and planner with 17 plus years of strong record of contribution in streamlining operation, invigorating businesses, heightening productivity, systems and procedures. Seasoned development sector professional, adapt in developing and implementing resource mobilization strategy from private sector in India and across federation countries, including developing and nurturing new partnerships. Currently spearheading India SDG Trust to establish a reliable, responsible, and robust platform for collaboration, which makes a significant contribution towards India's achievement of sustainable development goals. The role also entails managing the pan-India operation of the trust and designing the resource mobilization strategy of the trust to liberalize strategic partnership in accordance with the Indian CSR framework for development programs that align with the national SDG indicators. Previously, she was leading the corporate partnership verticals at WaterAid India, an international NGO with presence in over 35 plus countries and working for over 3 decades in India in water sanitization and hygiene domain. Prior to shifting to development sector, she was part of the senior management team of one of the leading private sector banks in India, handling the role of senior vice president and responsible for profitability goals of a key geographical cluster. We are really blessed to have you amongst us, Ms. Rashi Jain, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. I now request you, ma'am, to kindly announce the winner of the most eloquent NGO award.
And thank you, Tazin. That was a very kind introduction. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And yes, without much ado, let's quickly go to the award. So I've been given the responsibility to announce the most eloquent NGO, an NGO which has the best communication strategy, I believe.
Right.
And that goes to Ignite Dreams of Young Minds Foundation.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ignite Dreams.
Congratulations, Ignite Dreams. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would like to request you to kindly address the audience.
Thank you so much, Tanzin. It's a pleasure and honor, honestly, to be here, and excellent to see such lovely gathering of civil society organizations under one platform. So let me start by first congratulating, of course, Young Minds Foundation, Igniting Dreams of Young Mind Foundation for winning the award, and I2S for bringing in this platform to India. I think this was much needed. Having worked across corporates, the not-for-profit sector, and after that into the UN, and now actually I'm part of British Council, I've seen the length and breadth of this whole development space from the eye of a corporate and from the eye of a development sector professional. And yes, I completely agree with what Ms. Kakkar was saying, that there is a long way both the sides have walked together, but there is still a long way to go in trust building from both the sides. So I think That's something that will always be one of the requirements, and I2S is doing a brilliant job in bridging that gap. So congratulations for that first. I think another very important thing that I2S has done is bring the private sector policymakers and the most important civil society organizations. Again, going back to what Ms. Kakkar was saying, CSOs are somebody who have been the core DNA of development in India. And they will continue, we will continue to be the core of DNA of development in India. It's how we integrate the three pillars that, according to me, will truly lead to the transformational change we are looking at. I also have another very important thought with my past hat of working as the Secretary for the General for the CSR Trust for India. It's actually called the India SDG Trust. And what we were also looking at is how can we integrate the Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 United Nations and the nations agreed Sustainable Development Goals within the framework of the development sector of India. So we had two big battles to fight. One, of course, to break down these Sustainable Development Goals, and I know why Pranav is smiling because he's done that battle, I think, but to break down that battle of complicated 17 goals and making them, clear, crystal, easy to understand, easy to absorb, easy to implement, within the Indian context, because they were global goals. The definitions are global, the indicators are global. Some of them are contextualized to India, some of them are not. So I would really congratulate UN in India, especially UN Resident Coordinator's Office and the UN SDGs and the UN DP team for breaking them down so well along with NITI Aayog. And now we have a document where all districts and states are ranked basis the SDG indicators. So why do we need them? Why are they so important? Why the whole world has gone crazy about the Sustainable Development Goals? It's something, like we used to say in the corporate sector, something that doesn't get monitored, doesn't get delivered. So if I have to look at a progress of a nation over the years, there has to be a measurable statistics of looking at the progress, and it has to be uniform globally. I think the Sustainable Development Goal gave us exactly that framework. 17 goals broken down into 240 odd indicators, which every country will be measured against every year. Now, the questions that a civil society organization, as majority of the audience here is that should ask me is, which is all fine, which looks very airy, very top line. How do I integrate all of that into my own work? Now, here is where the understanding of the SDGs is extremely important. I won't go into 17 goals. There's no time for that. It's elaborate. It's a whole study by itself. But I would strongly recommend go visit the UNDP site of India, UNDP India. And there is a huge framework where it's broken down extremely simply, each goal as to how it impacts. Now, I understand there are 12 sectors under which I2S works, right? 12 thematic areas under which I2S works. So I don't have to work on all 17 goals. I have to pick up, if my NGO works, a classic case of my experience being in Water Aid previously, it works in water and sanitation. Then there is a goal number 6, which says clean water and sanitation. That's a broad goal. That's like telling the Olympic wannabe medalist that I need to break the world record, right? Now, how do you break it into action? The clean, and this is just an example I'm quoting, so others working on education, please don't feel sad, or people working on elderly care. This is not a prioritization by any matrix. This is just my experience in the past when working in the sector speaking. So if the goal 6 says clean water and sanitation, our country will be measured against how many people in 2030 have got access to clean and safe drinking water, right? Which means if X is the world record, is it broken or not as an Olympic medalist? Now, this is the what. Now, what is the how's the how? The how is that a measure of indicator is every household or a percentage of household. India is a big country, right? We can't say every household. Let's say if we say 80% of households in India get 24/7 clean, safe, on premises drinking water. Those are the indicators, as I say. Then we have met the Sustainable Development Goals. So would an Africa, so would a Pakistan, so would an America, or so would a United Kingdom, office. So this is where we get benchmarked against the world. And this is where the aid comes, not comes. This is where we are marked as developed, non-developed. All of that is part of how we perform on the SDGs. Now, what I need to be mindful if I'm running a civil society organization is, whenever I design a project, from start to end, I have to ensure one thought is always with me, that have I impacted the sustainable development indicator for that small geography that I'm trying to impact, whether it's a block or a district or a state or a village for that matter, or a gram panchayat for that matter. The sum of parts will ensure that as a country we move up the curve, and our size and scale. If we get to do things, there is no stopping the world in achieving the SDG indicators. Just classic example. Uttar Pradesh and Bihar had the world's 2/3 open defecation population. The minute we went, leave aside the politics of the numbers being right or wrong, but the minute we moved that indicator up a curve, it moved global indicators. And that is the power India carries. And that is the power we all will have to work together in our small roles as civil society organizations. As I say, the sum of parts is bigger than the sum itself, right? The individual components itself. So this is where I'll stop. I think it's a long monologue, and it's not a topic which can be covered in 2 minutes, but I'm still happy I got to speak about this with all fantastic work being done around with all the civil society organizations, and I2S bringing them on the same platform. I really hope and wish 5 years down the line, if we have this SDGs are to 2030, and we are in 2021. We exactly have 9 years to go, right? And so I just hope that 2026, 5 years from now, if we have this conversation, there are at least 50 NGOs from this group who can come and say that in my geography, these 4 indicators have moved from a point X to a point 2X. I think that's a measure of success, and that is what all of us as citizens of India on this 70th Independence Day should aim at. That's where I'll stop. Congratulations for this initiative again, and congratulations to the winners for doing the fantastic work. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was absolutely, I was in awe of your aura. The personality you have, the way you spoke, I really must appreciate for you for that. And I'm sure that what you are saying, that 5 years down the lane, right now we have around 95 participants here. So I think everybody is working towards a common goal. And I'm sure that whatever we are dreaming of, definitely by when we will be celebrating this Foundation Day 5 years down the lane, I think we'll be remembering this day again. Thank you so much for being here, ma'am, and thank you so much for making us understand about the Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Danzan. Thanks a ton for having me here.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's an honor. Thank you.
It's our absolute honor and privilege to have Mr. Raju Sharma amongst us today as a special guest. Mr. Raju Sharma is the Director of Corporate Social Responsibility at Interglobe Aviation Limited, that is Indigo, Gurugram. Mr. Raju leads the social initiative of the company in the areas of children and education, women empowerment, environment, and heritage. He is an active member of the Environment, Social and Governance Task Force of Indigo and plays a role in advancing sustainability elements within the company and the associate CSR partner organizations. An alumnus of Tata Institute of Social Sciences, that is TISS, Mumbai. He completed his master's in 1999. And since then, he has been working in the developmental sector. Mr. Raju carries a rich experience of 20 years in which he has worked with NGOs, INGOs, government and corporates, ranging from grassroots implementation programs to the strategy and planning level. Mr. Raju's strength lies in partnership management, development of sustainable models, project management, CSR, and teamwork. He believes in the creation of shared value by networking with professionals from varied fields and experiences and learning and contributing to the growth of all. Mr. Raju is an avid reader and loves to explore new places. He finds joy in discovering the new surprises that life has in store every day. I would now like to request Mr. Raju Sharma to kindly announce the winner of the Maverick NGO Award. Sir, you are unmuted. You are unmuted. Yes, sir. Now I think. Yes, sir. Now we can hear
audible and visible.
Yes,
Thank you, Dr. Tazeen, for that wonderful introduction. And the award for the Maverick NGO goes to Ability India Trust. And I congratulate the group for this.
Congratulations, Ability Trust. I would request Ability Trust to kindly turn on your video. And I would request all the previous winners also to turn on their videos.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And Thank you, and Pia Bajwa, I can see Ability India Trust.
Yes.
Congratulations for the wonderful award, and I wish you all the best in future.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Dr. Tajin, can
Yes, I request you kindly to address the audience now, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
So with the limited time, thank you, Dr. Tajin, for giving me this opportunity, and for the organizers of India is Us. I mean, this is a wonderful platform. And before just moving on, because we have a limited time, I just want to tell you that I represent Indigo Airlines, and I represent the corporate social responsibility of Indigo. So as an airline, the 4 pillars of our work include children and education, women empowerment, environment, and heritage. So these are our critical 4 areas of our CSR work. And lastly, we also have something called a 6C responsibility, under which whenever there is any natural calamity in India or outside, we reach out to community with human resources, men and material in whatever capacity we have. So these are the 4 domain areas of our work, and we work with partner organizations, very able partner organizations. We have currently around 21 partner organizations, big and small, who have recruited after a thorough due diligence process. So today, in the course of the conversation in the last 1 hour, half an hour, 45 minutes, I heard Stutika, I heard Rashi Jain. Those were wonderful insights that one learned from this thing. And I was really impressed with the kind of issues that has been raised here. And on our part, I think what I would like to understand, and what I'd like to share with everybody in the civil society, is that these kind of platforms today is extremely required, where there is trust-based partnership between the government, between the corporate and the civil society, the media, and the academia included. I think this is the time for us to join hands, where we can learn from each other and contribute to the growth of this nation. Because the problems of our country are so huge. I mean, each part of the country issues are completely different from the other. So it requires the partnership, trust-based partnership between each one of us to create sustainable solutions. Rashi talked about SDGs. Yes, those are very, very, very important at this point of time. How do you link up your sustainability goal? It is a good thing. Each organization is doing the best he or she can. But are we trying to learn the lessons of sustainability? How do you create value for the communities for whom we work? How do we create value for all the stakeholders involved in it? I think those models which create value for everyone, for the environment, for the planet, for the animals, for human beings, for the communities, those are the organizations, those are the kind of work that is going to sustain in the years to come. It is about creation of values. It is about strengthening each other. I think each one has to find out solution, and there cannot be one solution for all the country. We need to find out solution which are which is going to sustainable. And I have always believed, Dr. Tazeen, that no program on earth is sustainable. What is sustainable are the processes. And that is where, ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to strengthen the processes at the grassroots level. So how do you strengthen the question comes then, how do you strengthen the processes? I think Stuti ma'am raised a very important point. How do you create skills? For me, I think there are 3 ways that we can create value. And I think Stuti ma'am also highlighted that. How do you increase our skills? I think one of the challenges that I have experienced with civil society is that काम कैसा चल रहा, बहुत बढ़िया चल रहा. We don't know what is बहुत बढ़िया चल रहा. बहुत बढ़िया चल रहा, actually कुछ भी नहीं चल रहा है, इसका मतलब. How does the data? In God we trust, for the rest everything is on database. So for everything, therefore the organizations, it is required that we build our capacities for MIS. How is the data managed at the last mile, at the village level, at the communities level? That is where the real challenge lies. And how is the data translated from the grassroots level to the head office? बहुत data miss होता है, Dr. Tajin उसी में. Rashi perhaps would also agree to it, and most of you are senior professionals here. I don't need to tell everyone, but all of you know, बहुत डेटा खराब होता है जब नीचे से लेके ऊपर तक जाते हैं. मीटिंग कैसी की? बहुत बढ़िया मीटिंग है. वी डोंट नो बहुत बढ़िया का मतलब क्या है. इट डजंट मैटर. बहुत बढ़िया आपके लिए बहुत बढ़िया होगा, बट उसको मेजर कैसे कर रहे हैं? Does how is that meeting recorded? Who is taking the decisions on the village? Is the decision taken by the most powerful lady in the woman in the village, or is it taken by the village headman? Yeah, the last person in the community is taking this thing. Stuti ma'am talked about the physically challenged. Are we taking decisions for the benefit of the for the people, or who is taking the decision? How is it recorded? How is it minuted? All those micro details are extremely important. I don't want donor agencies like us. I don't want the government at the head, and I don't want anybody to micromanage, but I want communities to manage the programs themselves. What is not monitored goes for a 6. We all know this. Number 2, I think, as an organization and as a person, I believe, as a professional in this development sector, I believe that communication is a very critical thing that all civil society organizations have to learn about it. And communication is not beating about the bush. It is not about बहुत बड़ी बातें करना. अंग्रेजी में बहुत बड़ी बात करना communication नहीं होता. It's not about speaking high English. आप देसी भाषा में, how are you talking with the most pertinent issues? Are you raising the most pertinent issues? Stuti ma'am also made a very pertinent point. You need to come united. But I think we need to raise the particular issues with the government. Government is also open to listening if we are able to make the right noises, if we are able to raise the right thing. And that is something which communication skills for us have to be built. We have to build our communication skills. And thirdly, for ladies and gentlemen, I think technology. For us, it is extremely important that we have to learn technology ourselves and help communities at the grassroots level to learn the technology. Even I think people, women who are class 5 pass, communities, farmers who are class 5 pass, 6 pass, they can use the computer today. Our role as an organization in the civil society, at the grassroots organization, is to help these farmers, the community farmers, to learn the basics of the computer and technology. And jab tak hum nahi seekhenge, the moment we don't learn ourselves, we don't even use it in our office, things do not, things will not work. And lastly, before I wind up, I know I've very less of a time, is we need to gear up for unforeseen circumstances like the COVID. These are unprecedented times, and we are not out of the woods as of now. As a country, as a community, we are not out of the woods, but we need to be geared to meet these kind of circumstances. I hope the third pandemic, the third wave does not hit us, but we need to be prepared for all of this. As an organization, we need to create two things. We need to be conscious of two things. One is, how do you work with fear for our people, for our own employees, for our own community. हम जब अपनी बात करते हैं कि यार communities को ऐसा करना चाहिए, नहीं, how am I responding? I am frightened. I am telling you, I am frightened. Am I addressing my fear? What is fear? Second is isolation. We don't interact. We are meeting on the digital platform. These creates a lot of isolation. So how do we create a safe space for myself, for my people, for my employees, for people to speak? Can we make policies within our civil society that are more employee friendly, where employees can talk to each other? Can once in a week, monthly, weekly meeting, can it be about employees and not about work only? Can we talk with each other? Ki ho kya raha hai hamari zindagi mein? I think these are the basic thoughts that I just wanted to share with everyone. And I really congratulate each one of us, each one of you, and your fantastic coordination, Dr. Tazeen, and the entire team, Alicia, for the wonderful coordination with each of one of us. This is a great work, and I wish everyone all the best. I wish from the organized, from Indigo, and from myself, I wish each one of you safety, and God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I mean, you have told about so many things in such precise manner. Actually, people fail, but processes never fail. So if we can work on the process, so I'm sure that, the success is within our reach. And definitely during this technology time, during the COVID times have already taught us that we have to be tech savvy. Thank you so much, sir, for briefing everything so nicely. Stuti ma'am would like to say a few words, I think. Over to you,
Yes.
Stuti ma'am. Yeah.
I would like to really thank Indigo Airlines. And I don't know if it was Mr. Raju Sharma, but when I was chairman NCPCR, this violence against children, especially child sexual abuse, was troubling me a lot because it was something very horrifying. You know, every day in the papers, you read some
Yeah.
horrible incident. And Indigo Airlines came forward to partner with us for a month-long campaign. In the 6C magazine, they carried the minister's message,
Yeah.
and they were very helpful. So to get a corporate partner, you know, really escalates. I mean, it sort of puts, you know, the Indigo Airlines was partnering with us. For us, it was a very big thing because NCPCR was, at that time when I was there as chairman, wasn't so well known as an organization. Today it is better known. Thank you so much, Raju Sharma and Indigo Airlines. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. In fact, ma'am, sorry, Dr. Tazeen, I just thought I couldn't resist not answering because I've got goosebumps. Child sexual abuse is something prevention of child sexual abuse is something which is very core to my heart and to my organization. And as ma'am is saying here, I think this is a very, very critical development issue today. You would be surprised, Dr. Tazeen, according to research, every second child is sexually assaulted in our country, in our society. And boys are also included in it.
And there's no platform for them.
There is no platform. And what we have done as an organization, we are creating employee volunteering opportunities where our employees are being trained on prevention of sexual harassment for children. And then we will be training government school teachers in some parts of this thing. So we are doing our bit, ma'am. And so, but we need participation from everyone. This is not a work of one organization or one person.
No, but your extending support was a very big thing because a corporate sector coming forward on its own is really very good. And today we have Kailash Satyarthi and NDTV talking about it. It was a taboo subject when I started discussing it on a public platform. Anyway, we have to get along with the program.
Yeah,
thank you. I think Indigo really deserves a round of applause for that. I mean, these are some things we also don't know about. That's really, I mean, that's a very great gesture. And I really love the quote that is there for Indigo. It feels good to be there for someone. Try it. Really, I mean, it's such a strong message that it really feels good to be there for someone. Just try it out and just feel the difference. Once you feel the difference, and then I think everyone will start doing it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Stuti ma'am, and thank you, Raju sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It is our honor to have Ms. Ritu Juneja as a special guest amongst us today. Ms. Ritu Juneja is an industry professional with over 17 years of experience in administrative and HR skills working with a Japanese organization, Hitachi, that aims to provide sustainable environment to the society and believes in social innovation. She is born and brought up in Delhi and graduated from Delhi University with bachelor's degree in commerce and has been awarded first division in office management academic performance by Ms. Kiran Bedi in the year 1999. Apart from her key skills in administrative and HR areas, she has performed various safety rider workshops for school children, educating them about the precise use of elevators and escalators. She has also been associated with various non-profit organizations like Parivar Seva Sanstha, Delhi Cherais House, and NGO like Delhi Greens, Helpage, Cry, and carried various social activities for the benefit of the society and the environment, both on professional and personal grounds. I would now like to request Ms. Ritu Juneja to announce the winner of the Tech Savvy NGO Award.
Well, hello everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate the India is Us team on the completion of their 6th Foundation Day. Now, as I have been given the responsibility to announce the winner of Tech Savvy Award. So the Tech Savvy Award, NGO Award, goes to National Association for the Blind, which is NAB Merit, for their excellent contribution to the society utilizing the current IT technology. So congratulations NAB team for this accomplishment and a big hand of applause for that team. Thank you
Thank you
very much.
so much, ma'am. We have the NAB team here. Thank you so much. Ma'am, now I would like to request you to kindly address our audience.
Congratulations NAB team once again for your great contribution to the society. And thank you, Dr. Tazeen, for giving me this opportunity to be present here at this virtual platform and, prepare myself and provide the introduction about the organizations and the challenges we face with the NGOs. So today, actually, I feel very honored to be a part of this event, and I appreciate the progress of ITU support system. Bodies like ITU render support, they not only to the NGOs, but also to corporates and other organizations in the social development of society. Though it has been a very short time with India is Us that we soon got associated, and herein I must appreciate the support rendered by Alicia to Hitachi by her various thoughtfulness, ideas, and majority of the activities she has been proposing us to render under SDG plans. Hitachi's vision is to provide a sustainable environment to the society and promote SDG activities all over the world. So I think this association will help us more and more to reach us to the goal. Honestly speaking, it was really a difficult task for us to look for the association of the NGOs that can actually, understand our budget constraints and help us perform the social responsibilities towards the society. Generally, corporates lack this association with verified NGOs that actually focus on the activity-based programs rather than donation of funds. So we have also experienced that in today's time, it is very challenging to know whether the donated amount will actually be invested in the good cause or not. So that is one of the very big challenge that corporates have been facing while performing their CSR and SDG goals. Very less number of NGOs, that can actually assess and identify the real needs of the community and can work along with the companies for which they have to invest in local by their capacity to undertake developmental projects. Personally, if you ask me, I feel that ITU team is doing a very good job. I appreciate, and by working with verified NGOs and actually creating more awareness among the organizations to make CSR more effective. It is actually now at the present situation, a big need for all of us to stand together towards the society goals, the environmental goals, and promote the CSR activities all over the country. Well, ITU, they do not work considering the big size and the profile of the company, but they also consider their budget contributions and need while performing the CSR programs. So thank you very much, India is Us team, for making Hitachi as an association with you and giving us the benefit and your utmost support so that we can also achieve this goal with your with your team's support. One suggestion here I would like to give is that NGOs should create more and more awareness among the general public to make it more effective, the programs, the social activities. For example, I feel that they should take help of media to promote the activities performed by various organizations, various societies, where media is one of that such tool that can reach one-to-one and help creating more awareness among the society. So whether it is in newsletters or in newspapers, among the organization, if we talk about if these are the newsletters, then the hoardings, I think awareness is lacking among the society, among the public to work towards the SDG goals or the environmental goals. I think this should also be considered as one of the key points. And once again, I would like to thank all the NGOs present here and giving me this opportunity to get associated with them. And all the NGOs, thank you for your utmost support to the society. And last but not the least, thanks to the ITU organization. we look for the longer run of association with them, and I believe that Alicia and ITUS team will definitely help us achieve our goal of the organization towards sustainable society. Thank you, Dr. Tazeen. Thank you, ITU team, and thank you, everyone. Thank you for making.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you
Thank you,
so
ladies.
much, ma'am. Very correctly said that, organizations are ready to do CSR activities, but they don't know whether the NGOs that they are giving the money to, whether it will be properly utilized or not. I think that is where ITU comes into picture, that we verify the NGOs and then we collaborate both the NGOs and the corporate. Very correctly said. And secondly, your suggestion is very well taken, that there are many people who actually want to work towards the society, but they're not even aware. If I talk about myself, a couple of years back, I was also not aware of where I can contribute. But if the NGOs actually work on looking into the publicity part, then I think it will help people like us who actually want to help but really don't know how to. Thank you so much. Your suggestions are really absolutely amazing. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, it's an honor and privilege to have Ms. Satarupa Dasgupta as our special guest with us today. Ms. Satarupa Dasgupta is the COO of Fairgaze, unlocking potential through holistic development of school children. Ms. Satarupa has over 13 years of experience of working with NGOs to lead large-scale programs in education and learning. She possesses an in-depth understanding of multi-thematic approaches in the education and skill development verticals, including transformative program planning and implementation, operation management, team building, fundraising, and driving stakeholder consensus. In her career growth trajectory, she has played multiple roles of providing strategic leadership and oversight to program management and implementation of transformative learning projects aimed at bringing about systematic improvements in classroom-based assessment and student learning outcomes for government schools across multiple states in the country. She believes that the route to social justice, equality, and equity has to pass through classrooms. A yoga and nature enthusiast, she remains passionate about bridging equity gaps in education and skill development. I would now like to request you, ma'am, to kindly announce the winner of the People's Choice Award.
Thank you, Dr. Tazeen, for the kind words, and a very good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
The NGO that, first of all, let me announce, the NGO that gets the People's Choice Award is Amcha Ghar.
Amcha Ghar, can you please turn on your video? Great.
So congratulations, Amcha Ghar. Congratulations, and please, you're doing great work. Please continue doing the great work.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And congratulations, Amcha Ghar.
Thank you, ma'am.
Congratulations, Amcha Ghar. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now I'd like to request Satarupa ma'am to kindly share a few words of wisdom with our audience.
Sure. Good evening again. And it has been such a pleasure to listen to all the dignitaries here and learn about the different initiatives. Of course, I thank India Is Us for this opportunity to speak to you. And as we celebrate the 6th Foundation Day with them, a big milestone. Heartiest congratulations, Team India Is Us and all the partner NGOs. Organizations like India Is Us, they play a very important role of being the bridge between the NGOs and the corporates. And they help both of them to realize their social responsibility goals. I have the experience of working in the development sector for many years and with many NGOs and on large-scale programs. I think this is a very important initiative as it connects the NGOs by helping them perform better through capacity building initiatives, providing sustainable growth opportunities on one hand, and connecting them with corporates like us to engage with the transformative efforts that the NGOs are doing on the ground. We appreciate all the good work that the ITU team is doing. We in the corporate, we at Fairgaze are very happy to partner with the ITU team. Fairgaze is a school media ecosystem that works on building equitable opportunities for developing social and emotional learning skills in school students. We work closely with over 350,000 students across thousands of schools in the country. And we work very closely with India is Us on nurturing students to be responsible citizens of the country by being actively participating in achieving the UN-led Sustainable Development Goals that we heard about today. Commonly, they're called SDGs. We run specially designed campaigns every month to engage school students, teachers, and parents, just to generate more conversation around SDGs. Today, we heard about communities taking ownership and that communities must be involved in addressing the social challenges. I would like to talk about how students can also be engaged and how we can actually nurture them towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Fairgaze very strongly believes that the route to achieving or accelerating the achievement of Sustainable Development Goals will have to pass through schools. It is the students and the youth of this country that will play a critical role in achieving them. SDGs highlight challenges faced by humankind, and we need to make students aware of how individual and community actions can have global consequences. SDGs open the students' mind to different communities and experiences beyond their own. And the aim is to develop empathy in them, and the aim is to develop a habit of giving back to the community and the country. To bring in more student involvement, Fairgaze has also partnered with India is Us. We are coming out with an innovative and specially designed program to accelerate SDG achievement by engaging school students across the country. This is a program, it's almost a year-long program to engage the students. It will generate awareness about the different SDGs, and it will also encourage students to volunteer their time with the different NGOs that are aligned to the respective SDGs. India is Us is our partner in ensuring that school students get a hands-on experience of working with NGOs on these SDGs. This, I feel, will indeed be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the school students and the NGOs as they create effective synergies for making this place a better place to live in. On behalf of Fairgaze, we wish India is Us and all the partner NGOs present here today a very happy 6th anniversary once again. May you continue to soar and achieve all your goals. And once again, I thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And you are doing an amazing job because ultimately students are the future of the country, right? So the way you are working towards the students, the way you are involving students for the NGO, I think it'll definitely be a better place to live in the future. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now I would like to request our Advocacy Director for ITU Foundation, Mr. Pranav Menon, to kindly announce the ITU Bestie Award. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Tazeen. I mean, it's a pleasure to have this award given by me. I mean, it's because I consider them as best friends and ITU considers them as best friends. So the ITU Bestie Award goes to Shashakt Foundation.
Can we have the video of the winners on, please?
Yeah. Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We continue to have our best friend together.
Yes.
Before you move forward, I just have one small thing to say, if you don't mind, Dr. Tazeen.
Yes, please go ahead.
All the partner NGOs. I mean, you have heard a lot of at least 4 to 5 special guests speak about SDGs, speak about their pain points, what they've gone through in their life, especially Raju Sharma, SDG, and Rashidji, and even Shatrubaji, how they're getting students onboarded in, making this place a lively place to live in. To all the partner NGOs, what I want to say is, this platform in itself is a big place where you can understand what we are looking to do together, be it from the corporates, be it from the NGOs, be it from the people themselves who want to do something for the community. So we will lend our hand towards you, and we request you to also lend your hand towards us so that we can work together to make this place a better place to live in. Thank you so much again. Over to you, Dr. Tazeen.
Thank you so much, Pranav. Thank you so much. And congratulations, Shashakt Foundation. Thank you. Thank you so much. When it comes to NGO, we focus on the sustainable model, and to make sure this is achieved, we have experts like Mr. Debanshu Ganguly and Mr. Dada Sarkar. I now take this opportunity to introduce you all to our sustainable experts. We have amongst us Mr. Debanshu Ganguly, who is the advisor, social sector sustainability and good practice to ITU. Mr. Debanshu has a rich 29 plus years of experience in media marketing, event management, and social development sector. He is sharing his expertise with us and our partner NGOs in creating social enterprises and leading them to sustainability. In the past, he has worked with several NGOs like Sahasi, Caritas, Reach, Voice, and Don Bosco. He has helped them connect with corporates like GIVO, Clothesline, etc. We also have Dada Sarkar amongst us. He is the advisor, CSR services, and ecosystem support to ITU. As the CSR and sustainability expert, he has license around the world in grant-making foundations, non-profits, and corporates. His efforts bring together the help-seeking international social cause
I'll call you back.
related organizations with Indian corporate entities and non-profits. His 13 years of experience in the industry makes him the go-to person for the international entities and corporate who want to empower non-profit in India and Asia. I would now request you both to kindly brief us about the challenges and solutions for NGOs. Over to you, Ganguly sir and Dada Sarkar sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening to all of you.
Good evening, sir.
And it was a wonderful session from all the speakers who have raised their own points, and they are very valid points. Actually, they actually echoed what exactly we are trying to preach for the past few years. And the challenges, the basic challenge that we have is I think at this moment, what we need to understand is the scientific approach towards the work, towards the process. From the NGO's desk, I would like to address this, that if we work more scientifically rather than more piecemeal method, then probably we can win the heart of everybody, and the collaborations will come easy. So that's my request to all of them to make it more professional and on scientific approach towards it. And I would like to congratulate all the winners who have been doing wonderful. And for the people who have not won any award, to them, I would like to congratulate them also, because they are no less than anybody else. Only thing, probably they have missed few of the parameters at this moment, but they can make it. And I'm sure they're creating excellent impact on their field as such. Here, I would like to also tell the team ITU that with the 6th Foundation Day, I think our responsibility also increased a lot, because the success is directly proportional to the expectation of the client. So now we have to gear up ourselves, we have to pull up our stock, and we have to work for more harder, more closely with these NGO partners, and let's create some great good world to live in. And that's what is my message to all of you. And thanks all the dignitaries and all the speakers. And thanks Dr. Tazim for wonderfully comparing and leading the meeting ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Dada Sarkar sir, over to you, sir. Dada Sarkar sir. I think there is some technical issues. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And I'm sure the NGOs and ITU together, we can make wonders. I mean, we will definitely make this place a better place. And with experts like Devanshu Ganguly sir and Dada Sarkar sir, we are sure that that day is not far. We'll definitely achieve that. Now, let me take this opportunity to introduce you all to the man behind ITU, our very beloved Sudhi Nam sir. In 1989, he founded Crystal Hues in the niche area of multilingual communication and localization services employing latest technologies, which was later incorporated as a public limited company in 1995. Since then, he has started other verticals for advertising, digital marketing, and IT. His philanthropic activities include developing the NCC training app, which was inaugurated by the Defense Minister, Shri Rajnath Singh. The app is expected to impact over 2 million students across India. Here are some of his key roles. He is founding Crystal Hues Limited. He led CHL in assisting clients to expand their business to new markets and opportunities. He is the founder of India Is Us, an NGO supporting ecosystem with over 100 NGOs working on 12 different social causes. He is the treasurer of Indian Excellence Forum. He contributes by creating awareness and facilitating psychological interventions on behavioral management and mental wellness among school children. He is the recipient of the Business Excellence and Innovative Best Practices Award 2016, conferred by Mr. Sunil Bharti Mittal, Chairman of Airtel and Vice Chancellor of New Delhi Institute of Management. He is also the recipient of REX Karambir Chakra Gold Award in 2019 in recognition of his contribution and impact created through pioneering efforts in bridging the communication gap between diverse cultures. I now request you, sir, to kindly address the August gathering with your words of wisdom. Sir, I think you are on mute.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, now we can hear you.
It's a most, often used word nowadays. So thank you very much for your kind words, Dr. Tazeen. First of all, so good afternoon, respected guests, Madam Suti Kakar, Mr. Raju Sharma, Madam Rashi Jain, Madam Ritu Juneja, Madam Shatrupad Das Gupta, and all the NGO community stakeholders, donors, and volunteers. As a community, we tend to believe that we just need to look after oneself and only. But the experience of working with NGO communities dispels such myths and beliefs at the first instance. And believe me, it is very highly contagious experience. Just look at the number of people who are involved in NGO activities, who contribute their bit from whatever little they have. We have had persons earning just the minimum wages also contribute to the NGO activities. And of course, another example is the contribution of this wonderful team of donors, volunteers at ITU, including Dr. Tazeen, Mr. Devanshu Ganguly, Dada Sarkar, and many others who have been working so hard and so selflessly. The thought for contributing to NGO community was born when we first decided to promote 12 NGOs to our corporate customers in the annual calendar, which Madam Kakar also mentioned. We usually publish our annual calendar for many years, and we thought of changing that. Instead of promoting ourselves, we thought, okay, let's promote the NGOs to our corporate clients. This helped the NGOs to reach out to corporate decision makers and explore future synergies. Since then, it has been a very humbling journey for us. We believe that everyone can contribute one day for future, either with their one day's effort or with their one day's earnings, either which way. And there are thousands of NGOs who are doing fantastic work, who are going to make fantastic impact with your just one day's contribution. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for encouraging us on our journey and sharing your one day with us today. Thank you very much. Over to you, Dr. Tazeen.
Thank you so much, sir. I really love this concept of one day for future, either your time or your skill or money, in whichever way you can contribute. It's such a simple thing, just one day. If, you know, if in a country like India, where we have billions of people, if everyone just contributes one day, just think about what the world, what India will become. Thank you so much, sir, for conceptualizing this beautiful idea. I think we had some technical issues when we asked Mr. Dada Sargar to speak. I think, can we have Mr. Dada Sargar now? There was some problem with unmuting him. Dada Sargar sir, are you able to hear me? Akshay, IT team, can you please unmute Dada Sargar sir? Yes.
I think there is some technical issue.
Yeah, there is some technical issues. Akshay, are you able to unmute Dada Sargar sir?
Already I done. I think the technical issue.
There's technical issue. Okay, you have already done. Okay, okay. Yeah. Okay. We're extremely sorry for that. I think there is some technical issues because of which we are not able to unmute Dada Sargar sir. So with this, we are almost coming towards the end of today's celebration and session. And now I would like to request Khushbu to kindly play the video so that all can have an idea of the benefits that NGOs get from ITU. Can we please have the video, ITT, Akshay or Khushbu?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we please have the video?
Just.
Yeah. These are few pros and cons of technology. I think Akshay will be just playing the video so that you all can have an idea of, you know, what are the benefits that NGOs get from ITU. Yes. Thank you so much, Akshay. Now with this, officially we come to an end to today's celebration. From the team of ITU, I like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Ms. Stuti Kakkar, Ms. Rashi Jain, Mr. Raju Sharma, Ms. Ritu Juneja, Ms. Satarupa Dasgupta for coming here and gracing this occasion. Thank you to each and everyone from the core bottom of our heart. And thank you to each participant NGO for being here and making this event a success. And special congratulations to all the winners. And I'm sure that together we are going to rock and we are going to make a lot of changes in the world to make this a better place to live in. Thank you so much. I think Alicia would like to say something. She has just raised her hand. I would like to ask Alicia just to say a few words.
I'm just excited to see all the NGOs in one frame who all are the winners today, because we missed to take the screenshot of 2 of the NGOs just because of the technical glitches. So can I request Akshay to please bring all the winner NGOs on this single platform and let's take a screenshot. I hope I'm not expecting much, Akshay.
Requesting everyone to kindly turn on their videos so that we can have a few more pics.
And to see Pia ma'am is always a pleasure to me.
Yes,
she's
so such a dynamic lady. I mean,
Yeah.
I just by seeing her, I could make out that she's such a dynamic lady. Would love to interact with her someday.
And I have been just talking to Shalini ji every time. Today I can see her. Hi Shalini ji, virtual hi to you. Hi Ravi Shankar ji.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hi
Great
Anitha.
to see your work.
Thank you so much.
I was watching to all of you, and it was amazing. You know, the teamwork you all are doing is really good. Everything was going so well. That's really good in this technique. Sometimes, you know, there is network problem, but I didn't find any kind of problem here. That's why I'm attending the meeting. There is no problem.
Thank you so much for the kind words. Can we have Pia ma'am also? Akshay, you
want
can
me to
remove
say?
me and Tazeen ma'am. It's okay.
Yeah. You can remove us and you can take Sudhir sir also with
Yes.
Pia ma'am.
Yeah. So Pranav and Sudhir sir can be here. Actually, can we take Pranav? You can remove me. You can take Pranav.
Yeah, you can remove me also. You can take Pranav and Sudhir. Yeah, Sudhir sir
Yeah.
is there. You can take Pranav. Oh, wow.
So we all are here.
Akshay has done an amazing job.
Can we just say, I mean,
Yeah, can we
just
all put both the thumbs up, you know, all the winners out here. Great.
Victory maybe.
Amazing. Yeah, victory too. Yeah.
Akshay,
And
are
now-
we done?
And now we can have one group photo with all the partner NGOs.
I miss Pia ma'am. Pia ma'am is not here. Akshay,
Okay, happy.
Akshay, you can remove me or I mean, just take Pia ma'am for Ability
For
India
Ability
Trust.
India Trust, yeah. For Ability India Trust.
Not showing, ma'am.
For Ability India Trust. Yeah.
I'm very much here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Okay, we all can pose again. Thank you so much for listening with so much patience.
Yes, we have such enthusiastic participants. I mean, that makes our day. Now, Akshay, can we have a group photograph with all the NGO partners, all the participants? Requesting you all to kindly turn on your video so that we can have a good group pic with our thumbs up. Yes. Can we have everyone thumbs up? Yes, lovely.
Stuti ma'am is like full on action. I think we can have one screenshot with the panelists as well.
Right.
And where is DS and Gangli ji? Hope all the screenshots are
Actually, Tazeen has so much good cheer. One up to her also, you know.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Lovely.
Thank you so much, Akshay.
Are we done, Akshay?
Yes, yes, done,
Yes,
done.
I think so.
Yes, thank you again to each and everyone for being here, for giving your time, and for making this event a grand success. Thank you so much. And from India is us. Bye-bye to all of you. All of you take care, stay healthy and stay safe. Thank you so much.
And Tazeen, thank you to you for all the good cheer and cheerfulness you brought into this program.
Thank you,
Thank you
Stuti
very
ma'am.
much.
Thank you so much. Means a lot.
Thank you,
ma'am.
dear.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today.